meeting several nights ago I wasn't able to attend, where people were able to come in and talk. Again, trying to get community input to see what it is that people want in Sunnyvale to be done with that spot. My personal opinion is, even though the landfill is not what you would call original nature habitat of what was done there, I prefer to see it, have it stay more of what would be as close to original nature habitat as what you could have. I'm a big proponent of solar power, but I don't think we should build a solar farm out there. I think there are plenty of rooftops and other structures in Sunnyvale that we can go ahead and build plenty of other solar locations on. I have said for multiple times, what greater name than the name of our city, Sunnyvale, as being a proponent of what we're doing with solar power. So I think that we can go ahead and have lots of solar. A solar farm doesn't have to be there. As far as the Stvns Creek Trail, I too would like to see, in a concept, would like to see the Stvns Creek Trail completed. The real question is how. Again, we're having community input that's going on. Multi-city, this is a resource that borders the city, and there are multiple communities that need to be involved here. I know some people have concern that they don't like the way the community has been engaged, and there are certain issues going on there. But I believe that that is the right way to try and do that. We have to believe in the process of having community involvement and coming up with solutions.
Mr. Hoffman.
My name is Steve. Okay, Steve Hoffman, C2. Well, I'm sorry to break the bad news to you, but you cannot have ecosystems and development. They contradict each other. You either leave the land alone and let it be an ecosystem, or you develop it. Same thing with the Stvns Creek. Right now it's an ecosystem, and I'm talking about the properties behind the residents' houses over there. It's an ecosystem. There's a lot of life that lives over there. You cannot go ahead and develop it and then say that you're in favor of ecosystems. Same thing with other areas. Same thing with Butcher's Corner, for example. It's a farmland right now. You cannot go ahead and develop it and then say that you're in favor of ecosystems. If you're in favor of it, then you need to make that into an ecosystem, make it into some sort of a natural place where children can go ahead and play. And I'm not talking about lawns, and I'm not talking about swing sets. I'm talking about maybe a little forest that kids can go ahead and play. When I was a kid, there was a forest behind our school, and I've got tremendous fond memories from going into the forest. Now, of course, somebody owns that. Somebody would need to purchase it from the city. It would be nice if we were managing our finances successfully so that the city could actually afford to purchase that piece of land and do with it what we want to do with it. Thank you.
Mr. Larson.
Gustav Larson, C1. On the landfill, I think it's very important to preserve the ecosystem that is there. I had attended one of the community outreach meetings a few weeks ago, and almost all of the residents who were there were in favor of keeping it more or less as it is now. I think people really appreciate and value what's out there. I love going out there. It's peaceful. It's a wonderful way to just get away for a short while, and it's close by, and we need to keep that. Access is also important. I think so people can enjoy the area, appreciate it. Not so much that it drives away the wildlife or interferes with them, but for example, on the backside of one of the landfills already, Yahoo employees will go out there on their breaks and enjoy it. So I think it's a real asset to that area. For the Stvns Creek Trail, I'm also supportive of the concept, and I think there is more work to do on finding a route, a solution that's really going to work for everyone, because community input is really, really important, and community buy-in is essential. I think the Stvns Creek Trail has an opportunity to be a north-south connector for those who would like to bicycle, and give us an important route through the city. Thank you.
Mr. Fraser.
Yeah, Andy Fraser, seat 1. Last month, I attended a community meeting about the landfill area. And I went into that meeting with 2 great ideas. I said, 2 things we need there are a playground and a dog park. And about 60 minutes later, I was turned around 180 degrees. I didn't understand at the time that a dog park, even if it's contained, will scare away all the birds within a large distance. And one of the key habitats at the landfill is the bird population. Same with the burrowing owls, who are technically birds, but slightly different case because they live in the ground. One of the proposals that came up that was very good is this animal-assisted habitat. It's a petting zoo that's based down in Gilroy, and they work with special needs children who respond to animals. They'd like to move back up here, so they're looking at the landfill. They're looking to be given permission to move up to the landfill and basically provide that service to the schools, Sunnyvale and Santa Clara, Mountain View. To wrap up, the Stvns Creek Trail. If the Stvns Creek bike trail had been built 50 years ago, before the homes went in, it would have been a wonderful addition to the city. The problem is the houses are there. I did support the feasibility study, because they studied the issues. What are the various trail alignment alternatives? What makes sense? The results are in, and unfortunately, none of them do. So at this point, I don't see any possible way to come up with a successful Stvns Creek Trail, and I oppose it.